targets. The images now emerging of the moment the gunshots began. The gunman allegedly asking beforehand, are they Republicans or Democrats? And then opening fire on lawmakers and staff.
I think it was a total of 5 down.
Congressman Steve Scalise is in critical condition tonight, among 5 people shot. 2 wounded Capitol Police officers taking down the gunman, others racing to the victims crawling on the field. President Trump addressing the nation. Tonight, what we've learned about the gunman, the 66-year-old building inspector, a husband, and Bernie Sanders supporter. His rage on social media about the president. Also breaking tonight, the deadly shooting rampage at UPS, an employee opening fire after showing up to work. And the horrifying scene in London, the high-rise apartment building up in flames, the death toll rising tonight. The mother who dropped her baby nearly 10 stories to safety.
This is a special edition of ABC World News Tonight with David Muir, reporting tonight from Washington.
And good evening on this Wednesday night, and we are back at the Capitol in Washington tonight because of that awful scene that played out this morning as lawmakers were practicing for an annual tradition, the congressional baseball game, when a gunman opened fire. It was not long before the gunman allegedly asked, are they Democrats or Republicans? He was told they were Republicans. 5 people were hit, including Congressman Steve Scalise, a member of the House leadership. Tonight, he is in critical condition after trying to crawl across the field to safety. Authorities now say James Hodgkinson was the attacker, the husband and home inspector from Illinois who had strong political views. Tonight, that gunman is now dead, taken down by 2 Capitol Police officers who were among the wounded themselves. And we begin here with ABC's David Curley at the scene not far from here in Alexandria, Virginia.
Batting practice. Shattered by shots fired, large caliber, 50 or more, witnesses say, as this man ducks for cover. But this team includes 20 members of Congress.
Hey, is that guy okay out there? Guy been shot, is he okay?
You can see several people crowding around the player on the field.
There's also a victim down in the baseball field.
That victim, Congressman Steve Scalise, shot in the hip, medevaced off the field. He's in critical condition tonight, his family heading to visit him. It was his Capitol Police detail, 2 agents, who returned fire. The shooter, 66-year-old James Hodgkinson, an unemployed Illinois man who had reportedly been in the Washington area for a couple of months. The members of Congress were preparing for the annual congressional charity baseball game. 2 members left before the shooting and were approached by the gunman.
There was an individual, middle-aged Caucasian male, that asked us, hey, is that Republicans, Democrats, what? And we're like, Republicans. And then he kind of turned and went towards the field.
Just after 7 a.m., Hodgkinson opens fire through the fence near the third base dugout. The number 3 man in House leadership, Scalise from Louisiana, is playing second base and is hit by a bullet.
We need medics. We got a suspect.
Members of Congress forced to flee. Senator Rand Paul ducking behind a tree as others are still on the field.
I said, do you want to try to get out? And all of a sudden he was up and he was over the 20-foot fence in about 2 seconds. And I've never seen anybody climb a fence that fast in my life.
Others run to the first base dugout as the shooter is on the move. Representative Joe Barton is there with his 2 sons.
He had 25 dads. Everybody out there was looking out for him.
Scalise's security detail also along that first baseline. A gun battle with the suspect from behind an SUV, according to witnesses. Both officers are injured.
Thought we were all going to have to run out of the dugout, but then soon after that, they took him down.
Within minutes, local police joining in the gun battle. The gunman is down at 7:14 and dies later.
He's very calm. He was just walking and shooting as if it was just like, just like he was practicing.
In all, 4 shot. The congressman, one of the Capitol Police officers, a staffer, and a lobbyist, 2 others injured. The gun battle was not confined to the field. Car windows, business and local YMCA's windows shattered by bullets too. Owen Britton was walking out of that Y.
He was crouched behind a wooden structure. He was carrying what looked like a Kalashnikov-type assault rifle, a curved magazine.
24 ATF agents, FBI teams as well, descending on the scene, gathering evidence. As we see the evidence, a baseball glove left behind of the panic in the ballpark.
And David Curley joins us live tonight from that baseball field in Alexandria. And David, we just saw authorities there on the scene. There's still a heavy presence at this hour.
And we just saw 5 agents crisscrossing the outfield looking for bullets embedded into the ground, David. The FBI is putting out a poster looking for more information about the assailant, the man who made all these, injured these people and fired all these weapons. And they are saying he appears to have been living here since March in a van. David?
David Curley leading us off tonight. David, thank you. And as you heard David mention there just a short time before we came on the air tonight, the FBI putting out this bulletin. They want to know more about the gunman, how he got his weapons, and who bought them. The husband and former home inspector, as I mentioned earlier, was from Illinois. He was a Bernie Sanders supporter, and he did not hide his strong political views on social media, particularly when it came to President Trump. Here's ABC senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas tonight.
Police today racing to the home of James Hodgkinson in a desperate search for clues about the would-be mass murderer killed in a shootout with police. Trying to find a motive for a man who had strident political beliefs, but who no one knew would explode into a barrage of gunfire. In the 66-year-old's hometown in southwestern Illinois, shock.
I mean, he was in a few fights and stuff like that, but nothing that would demonstrate violence as far as what he did.
Tonight, the FBI focused on these posts portraying a deep hatred for Republicans, even calling President Trump a traitor. Trump has destroyed our democracy. It's time to destroy Trump and company. And he posted a cartoon critical of Congressman Steve Scalise, who he allegedly shot today. He joined anti-Republican Facebook groups, including one dubbed Terminate the Republican Party. His now removed Facebook page showing his ardent support of Bernie Sanders. The Vermont senator confirming today Hodgkinson volunteered for the campaign.
That the alleged shooter at the Republican baseball practice this morning is someone who apparently volunteered on my presidential campaign. I am sickened by this despicable act.
He had no love for Hillary Clinton either, posting, "A nomination for Hillary equals a win for Trump." But there were run-ins with the law, a history of petty violations, and hints that violence could be coming. In April 2006, police responded to a domestic incident in which Hodgkinson was accused of striking a woman and hitting a neighbor in the face with a shotgun, but the misdemeanor charges were later dropped. Then just 2 months ago, police were called to his Illinois home after neighbors complained about dozens of shots being fired.
I said, I'm going to call the sheriff and report him. I said, he's not stopping.
He was only given a warning, but his life was apparently starting to unravel. His wife tells us today that he left for Alexandria, Virginia 2 months ago. Without work, the building inspector was allegedly living out of a gym bag.
We believe that the shooter has been living out of his vehicle.
He would stop by this bar about 8 blocks from the shooting site.
I just remember him being extremely quiet, didn't really make eye contact, would be staring, you know, when I was looking away or looking out the window a lot.
So let's get to Pierre Thomas, who's with us live as well tonight. And Pierre, we know this is still a very active investigation. FBI agents, as we saw earlier, on that baseball field late today. Authorities are combing through his records and contacts to make sure he, in fact, acted alone.
David, they want to know who he's been talking to, what he's been reading, what he's been posting, where he's traveled. At this point, they believe he acted alone, but they want to be absolutely certain. Nothing will be left to chance, David.
Get your people out of our shot.
Pierre Thomas with us tonight. Pierre, thank you. Many lawmakers diving into the dugout on that baseball field, others trying to get to Congressman Scalise, who had begun to crawl further into the outfield after being shot. I spoke with Congressman Chuck Fleischman from Tennessee just a short time ago. He believes the gunman walked right past him with the guns. You suddenly heard the gunshots.
I heard one single loud pop. I didn't realize at first it was a gunshot. Very shortly thereafter, there was a barrage of shots. It was sickening, it was saddening, and there were a lot of shots. Easily 30 to 50, maybe more.
Now, obviously, everyone was at the ball field today. There's really little place to turn except for the dugout, which is where you dove?
We hit the ground. I found out later, sadly, that apparently the shooter actually came around and must have come right past us because we were laying by the fence. So I was very fortunate not to have been shot. I did end up in the dugout, and that's where I got injured and other people got injured.
Because so many people just simply dove in.
One of our members broke his ankle diving in just to get out of the barrage of gunfire. But the Capitol Police did a tremendous job. I want the American people to know that, but for the fact that the Capitol Police who returned fire and protected us, there would have been a lot more people severely injured.
And they fought back even though they were wounded.
That's correct.
Incredible thing. The congressman who was on the ball field, Congressman Scalise,
yes,
he was trying to crawl further out into the field just to find some sort of safety from the gunman.
Yes, very sad. We had other people shot there. One other young man got shot in the chest. He's had surgery, I believe actually 2 surgeries. When I got to the dugout, I saw another gentleman who'd been shot in the leg. It's just a very, very sad day.
A sad day indeed. Congressman Fleischman with us just moments ago. The shooting sending shockwaves through the Capitol right here behind me. We saw security tighter than ever here today. Tourists kept away for a time. And in the hallways and in meeting rooms today, members of Congress asking, has the rhetoric gone too far? Where are we now as a nation? ABC's Mary Bruce, also here on Capitol Hill.
Congressman Steve Scalise was looking forward to the big game.
Couldn't even make my high school team, but, kind of bloomed later in life.
The Louisiana lawmaker, a proud Ragin' Cajuns fan, calling his wife before heading into surgery. Also hit, Zach Barth, a congressional aide from Texas, posting that he was in the hospital but okay. And lobbyist Matt Micah, one of the team's coaches, shot in the chest, tonight in critical condition. And those 2 heroic officers, Crystal Griner, shot in the ankle, and David Bailey, a 9-year veteran of the Capitol Police, suffering minor injuries. Both there to protect Scalise, but protecting so many more.
Scalise gets his security because he's in leadership. Had Scalise not been there, I think it would have been a massacre today because there would have been no way to defend yourself.
Congressman Rodney Davis of Illinois, the team's catcher, was at bat when shots rang out. We show him the shooter's photo.
It makes me nauseous to find out he may be from my home state. The hate just over political differences has ratcheted up to where it becomes entertainment value, and that has to stop. It's my breaking point. I'm going to do everything I can to make it stop.
And today, moments of unity. That image in the dugout, the Democratic team praying for their Republican colleagues, and in the halls of Congress.
An attack on one of us is an attack on all of us.
Mary, both you and I heard that often today, that so many here on Capitol Hill do believe we've reached a breaking point with the rhetoric in this country. You've learned that the congressional baseball game will go on tomorrow?
David, that show of unity will extend to the baseball diamond tomorrow night. Democrats and Republicans feel it sends a strong message that Americans will not back down to fear. One Republican who was at that field today saying they all agree they need to play ball. David.
Mary Bruce just behind us here at the Capitol. Mary, thank you. President Trump speaking to the nation, acknowledging the deep divide, the differences, but urging calm today. I want to bring in ABC senior White House correspondent Cecilia Vega. And Cecilia, this was a bit of a test of sorts for this president after a shooting like this. Here's what he said.
We may have our differences, but we do well in times like these to remember that everyone who serves in our nation's capital is here because, above all, they love our country. We can all agree that we are blessed to be Americans, that our children deserve to grow up in a nation of safety and peace.
And Cecilia, you heard from those lawmakers in the report just beforehand here on the Hill, one who told me that we have in fact reached that breaking point, that Americans have to come together despite their political views. Is the White House aware of that in this message from the president today?
Well, they certainly are, David, and this call for unity is stretching from the White House down to Capitol Hill, and frankly, on both sides of the aisle, these calls for toned-down rhetoric, for a more civil discourse. But, David, the question right now, this is coming at a time of deep divisions in this country and in this city. There's no telling how long this call for civility will last.
And, Cecilia, while I have you, as the president deals with tone, the tenor in this country, he's also dealing with a new headline breaking late today, just as we came on. The Washington Post now reporting that Robert Mueller, the special counsel, could be investigating the president for possible obstruction of justice?
Yeah, this report says that essentially President Trump is now part of this investigation personally, that they are looking into possible obstruction of justice. Of course, former FBI Director James Comey just recently testified that he had told the president he was not personally part of the investigation. That was under his tenure, though. This now seems to have changed. We did, David, just get a statement from the president's legal team. They are calling this a leak that is outrageous, inexcusable, and illegal.
Cecilia Vega with us tonight from the White House. Cecilia, thank you. And we do move on to other news here this evening. The other developing headline, A deadly workplace rampage in San Francisco. A UPS employee opening fire on fellow drivers before they set out on their deliveries. And here tonight, ABC's Kana Whitworth.
The call came in at 8:55 a.m.
Possible active shooter. The suspect is an employee.
A UPS employee dressed for work opening fire at the morning drivers meeting, killing his coworkers.
It was pop, 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 about 7 shots, and then he fired at least 5 to 6 more outside.
I have 2 people shot. CPR in progress. I need 2 ambulances here now.
Employees rushed to safety. Area residents ordered to shelter in place. One snapping this photo of workers on the roof, hands in the air.
They were escaping, to get away from the gunman.
Police closing in with armored vehicles as they search for the suspect and secure the building.
David, 5 employees were shot, 3 were killed before the gunman took his own life. David?